Hello, welcome to my messy abode. Today I want to share with you my experience of cloth diapering and doing elimination communication, and specifically address the question of, is it worthwhile? Does it enhance your EC practice? Is the laundry stuff worth it? And then of course the cost savings aspect, which we are all interested in. So the reason I opted to do it was primarily EC motivated. Of course I loved the cost savings aspect as well, but if you do EC, you're kind of hoping to get some cost savings anyway, right? Because you're hoping that your child will be out of diapers sooner than average anyway. So with cloth diapering, I found that she signaled better. We had a chance to test some cloth diapers from a friend, and I did find that she signaled better in cloth. And at that time, that was very important to me. I really appreciated getting those cues, and it really encouraged me in doing EC. And so that made the cloth diapering very interesting and worthwhile for us. I also found that those disposables are not designed for frequent on and off. And if you've tried this already, you totally get this, right? Those tabs are just single-use tabs, and they stick when you don't want them to stick, and they don't stick when you want them to stick. And I found that I was just getting really frustrated, and I didn't want that energy transferring to her. I didn't want her picking up on that. I didn't want to bring that to our EC practice. So those were two compelling reasons for me, mostly, to switch to doing cloth diapers full-time. Now from a, hi. Oh, you want to record with me? From a laundry perspective, I will admit that it is extra work. And in my case, I'm washing basically 3 times a week, every other day-ish. And you run 2 cycles. So you need basically some kind of rinse cycle to rinse out the poop and the pee from the diapers. Or, I mean, if you're on solids at that point, you're hosing the diapers off in the toilet. So there's that extra bit as well. But you are cleansing the diapers in the first cycle, and then the second cycle, you're actually washing them, because you don't want to try and combine that and just do 1 cycle, because then basically you're trying to clean your diapers in a poopy pee-pee soup. Ugh, not so great, right? So I do run basically an extra 6 cycles a week, right? 2 times 3. So that is a commitment, and I do have some flats in our stash which require some folding, so that's a time commitment. So whether that portion is worthwhile in terms of your schedule, your time, only you know. I will say that even though it is a little more time and a little more work, I do find it to be worth it. Partly because it just brings me joy. You may have seen this from other YouTubers and people talking about how cloth diapering makes them happy and how weird that is. And I agree. I wasn't expecting it, but I do really enjoy it. And I think that that is because cloth diapering makes something very mundane feel luxurious, if I could say that. It makes something that most people can't wait to be done with fun and pleasurable. And so that's what it does for me anyway. So when I do the laundry, there's a satisfaction that comes from it, I guess, which is why I enjoy it. I have also found that because I've had to learn a little bit more about my machine, about just cleaning in general, how detergent works, that kind of stuff, it has actually improved our regular laundry, which my husband has been so grateful for. Our clothes are softer, our clothes are cleaner, because I've learned a little bit more about how all the laundry stuff works, basically. So that's been a very wonderful byproduct of doing cloth diapers that I did not anticipate. And I will say we do have the benefit of having a washing machine and a dryer in our home. And I understand that, if you're dealing with a shared washer dryer in an apartment complex, or if you're, using a laundromat, or if you're hand washing even, that definitely changes the dynamic. And again, only you can assess that for yourself. I do want to mention with the internet and laundry that if you end up on some of these Facebook groups, it is very easy to start thinking that everyone inevitably has some kind of problem with their cloth diapers when it comes to wash routines. And I would say that you know, those groups exist for people who are struggling. And so you're going to see an inordinate number of posts related to problems. But it isn't reflective of everyone who cloth diapers, and it doesn't mean that you are inevitably going to have some kind of problem. So just keep that in mind. I do think the internet can exacerbate a very small subset of the population, and if you spend a lot of time researching on the internet, I know for me it kind of has led me to believe that that must be all of reality, and that's just not true. And then as far as the cost savings goes, so I will share how I kind of did the math for us to determine if it was going to be worthwhile. And I was very excited about this. Again, with EC, right, the idea is that you're getting out of diapers sooner, so that number that you see thrown around, I think it's something like $3,500, right, that it is the amount that the average family will spend on diapers from birth to potty training. And us ECers are like, well, yeah, we're going to cut that number in half anyway, right? So with cloth diapers, you know, where does that fall into the mix? I basically said, okay, let's assume best case scenario with EC, which is different for every kid, but I've typically seen on the internet out of daytime diapers by walking. Assuming that that happens at a year, which is different for every kid. Some kids it's 9 months, some kids it's a year and a half, what have you, but let's say a year for easy math. We decided to start full-time cloth diapering around 4 months. It was 3.5, 4 months. So again, I said, okay, 8 months, just to make it easy, 12 minus 4. And then I calculated, you know, on average, let's say we go through 8 diapers a day, or in a 24-hour period, right? Nighttime plus daytime. And we were doing Amazon brand diapers for the most part at that point. So again, doing those calculations, I ended up with something, including wipes, something around like $500 or $600 that we had left that we were likely going to be spending in diapers, assuming EC went gloriously to plan, right? Plus maybe a little bit more if you factor in nighttime diapers for another 6 months or a year. Again, assuming best case scenario. So that meant that if I wanted to be financially ahead in terms of money spent, I needed to keep my cloth diaper stash to less than like $600 or so, which I think is quite easy to do when it comes to doing cloth diapers. Whether you're doing a pre-loved stash or you're buying new, you can be well under that figure. So that's how the math worked out for us in terms of, are we going to come out ahead financially? Obviously, if you have more children, that compounds the cost savings, right? Because your cloth diaper stash, in theory, will most likely last you more than one child. I'm going to do another video talking about stash size, because that's obviously the next big question. Is it worth it? What type of diapers and how many of them are really going to be helpful if you are also doing EC. So look for that video. But if you have any questions, leave me a comment, and hopefully this was helpful for you. I really enjoy doing both EC and cloth diapering. It has absolutely been worth it, and I get so much fun being able to care for my daughter this way, being able to see her develop this way, and it's also a nice little perk for mom. So hopefully if you decide to do either EC or cloth diapering or both, you find a lot of enjoyment out of it as well. Really appreciate you watching, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.